welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. We are super excited that you're joining us for our June edition of Just for the Health of It, Home Edition. It's an all-American affair happening today, right now, and we're super excited you're joining us. I am joined, of course, by my Just for the Health of It Home Edition team. We got Miss Keyshawn over there, and we got Chef Becca ready to cook up some really delicious food. So we're going to actually jump right in. But for those of you who are new to Just for the Health of It Home Edition, we all here on your screen are Family and Consumer Scientist agents with the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension. I am in Clayton County. Chef Becca is in Clayton County as well. And Ms. Keyshawn is in Bibb County. And if you're not familiar with UGA Cooperative Extension, basically we provide research-based information to you guys, our public, in the areas of 4-H, youth development, also agricultural and natural resources, and family and consumer science, which I like to say is like an upgrade name for home economics. So we are actually represented in all 159 counties in the state of Georgia. And so if you are not in Clayton County or Bibb County, feel free to reach out to your county extension agency so you can get all the up-to-date information of what's going on right here in the US. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to throw it over to Chef Becca, and she's going to start us off with some cooking, and then we'll have some education from Miss Keyshawn, and then we'll finish up and we'll have lots of fun, laughs, and hopefully some really amazing food. So Chef Becca, it is all you now.
Thank you. I also hope it's some amazing food that will happen today. No, I'm really excited for today because I have chosen a couple of recipes that are not the norm for our summer cuisine, but hopefully I will inspire some of you to try something different. So the first thing I'm going to get started, because it's probably going to take the longest, is with our grilled chicken. But I have a little twist on it that I want you to think about trying at home. So I usually, to get the juiciest chicken, I soak my chicken overnight in milk or even buttermilk. And if you really like a lot of extra punch to the flavor, you can do a yogurt. Any of those things work. Now, these things are not naturally acidic. However, they do have lactic acid. And so what that does when the chicken or the protein is sitting in it, it's breaking down the meat so that it's really, really tender, but it's keeping the meat intact. So I am going to demonstrate that. I have already put some of our chicken into the milk, but I'm going to show you what I did to get to that point. So as you can probably see, I have a whole bunch of seasonings, and this is my go-to barbecue rub. Everybody's tastes are different. I like a certain taste with my barbecue. But the great thing about rubs is you can adjust them for whatever your flavor profile is. And so I have a half a teaspoon of salt that I'm going to put right into the milk. I have 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I actually do sometimes use white pepper as well. You can decide. It just gives a little extra kind of a bite. And obviously the color is a little different. I have 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, which I'm going to use in here to give it a little heat. I have 1 tablespoon, a whole tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of onion powder. So we'll put those in.
So it sounds like, Chef, very little salt.
Almost no salt. Yes, very, very little. I also have a teaspoon of chili powder. Now, if you're not one for the heat, you can cut back on some of these because I'm using cayenne, chili powder, and paprika. So you can pull back as you need to. It depends on how much heat you like. I'm adding 1 tablespoon of sage. Now the sage and the cumin are seasonings that I enjoy, but aren't traditionally in a lot of barbecue rubs. So again, you adjust to your flavor profile. and then 1 teaspoon of paprika. And then I have just a little tiny bit. This is 1.5 teaspoons of light brown sugar. It's not a lot at all. A lot of times our barbecue rubs are very sweet, and I dare say unnecessarily. We want the flavor, but we're trying to cut back on that salt and that sugar. And so I simply whisk these seasonings into my milk. And then once I do that till it's just combined, what I'm gonna do is just add my chicken right to it. Let's show you that real quick, although I already have ours ready to go. Let's open this up. Use my fork here and put this right in. And then what I would do is cover this with some plastic wrap, and you can keep it in here, I would say at least 2 hours, but you can go up to overnight. And you want to make sure that you either cover it with some sort of plastic wrap or cover it in a container like this. So I'm going to sit this over here, and I'm going to show you what we have here. These are the pieces I've already done. So if I can, I'm going to grab some tongs really quickly so that I can show you what this looks like. Now, I already have my cast iron skillet. I'm using that. You can put a cast iron skillet right on the grill, or you can do this right on the grill, right? So either way. The key, though, is to make sure that you have a little bit of oil on your grill, either wiping it with some paper towels on there, or in this case, since I'm using a skillet, you can pour a little bit in, not a lot. I do not want to rinse this chicken. I'm putting this chicken directly onto the grill, all right? The other key about grilling chicken is you want to put it down and leave it alone. Don't keep turning it over and over and over again. That's how you lose moisture and lose chicken, because what's going to happen is you are going to eventually rip the chicken because you're trying to move too quickly. You don't want to move this chicken until the skillet or the grill releases it for you to do so. And I'll show you what that means as we go through this process.
So I see it already starting to cook there in your skillet. And we are going to discard that buttermilk marinade, right? Because we don't want to use it on anything else.
Absolutely. Thank you. We do not. And that is going to be on your recipe that you're going to get if you sign up for our mailing list. You will see right on there, it says, do not reuse the marinade. You must discard it. All right. Awesome. All right. So that's where we are now. I'm actually just going to let this chicken cook down. We're going to finish this off later on. But when we come back after our, after Ms. Keyshawn does our lesson for today, I'm going to show you how to make a grilled potato salad.
Okay, you guys may not have a teacher for today because I may be on my way to Clayton County to have some of this food.
Have you
we are talking about
potato salad?
I've never had a grilled potato salad, and I'm so intrigued. I cannot wait to see the rest of it. But before we get to that, I know that everybody's here for the education. Yeah, right. But we're going to give it to you anyway because that's what we do. We are going to talk a little bit about All-American, and we're going to have some takeaways at the end for you to kind of help you along through this summer grilling season. So one of the things about the summer grilling season is holidays, family gatherings, all of those things are so dangerous for us. Anytime you have any kind of holiday gathering or family gathering, what is the first thing that people say? What we're going to eat? What kind of food we're going to have? So it's always kind of centered around food. Now, I may be able to kind of do my day-to-day thing, eating properly, and maybe even get some exercise in. But when it's time to hang out with family and friends, it seems like our brain just clicks off and we make irrational decisions or decisions that we wouldn't necessarily make. So we want to talk about some of those things today. The first thing is we're out here, you all. We are out here, as they say on Facebook. Everything is open and we are back out. We are seeing family and friends that we have not seen in a little over 15, 18 months. So we are ready. And what's the first thing we're going to think about? You guessed it, food. We are out here and we are ready to celebrate, party, eat, and be with our loved ones. So the first thing we're going to think about is food, food, food. It's everywhere. Come to brunch with me. Come to this barbecue. Come to this graduation cookout. Come visit your grandma. I've already ordered a special spaghetti dish from my aunt for the 4th of July. I'm serious about this thing. I haven't had it in over a year. She doesn't make it that often. So I'm like, yes, TC, would you please make this spaghetti for me when I come home for the 4th of July? So, and all of these things mean our summer favorites as well. A lot of them are cool, they're high in sugar. So, one of the things that we wanted to do today was to give you some options as well as some tips. And we're going to talk a little bit about tips later on in the PowerPoint. So food is everywhere. One of the things that is so dangerous for us is not watching our portions. We are doing mindless eating. We're grazing. The food is out there all day. I don't know about you guys out there in Facebook land, but I know when I get with my family, this is an all day event. It may even go into the nighttime. We may start at 4 and it may be 12 o'clock or so before we are done. And during that time, we have eaten ourselves into oblivion. Also, it's not just the food, it is what everything that we consume, including drinks. And I wanted to put a little pin here and talk about alcohol consumption. A serving of alcohol is a 12-ounce beer, a 5-ounce glass of wine, and a 2-ounce of distilled spirits. I know that through research, I've learned that most people do not drink just 1 beer or 5 ounces of wine, and definitely not 2 ounces of distilled spirits. But I just wanted to let you know what a serving size consists of. So as we're continuing to eat and drink, we need to make sure that we're mindful about how much we're consuming. Alcohol is very high in sugar content. So if we're watching our sugar, for all my people with pre-diabetes or that are challenged with diabetes, then we probably want to watch our alcohol intake. Also, we know that alcohol makes us want to drink more, and we've learned that through extensive research that it makes us want to eat more. So be mindful of how much you're eating when you're consuming alcohol. One good tip is for every drink that you have, drink a cup of water, 8 ounces of water or more for every drink that you have as well. And also you want to limit that sweet tea, those Arnold Palmers, all of those things are high in sugar content depending on who makes it. We have an aunt that makes sweet tea. She was really good at making sweet tea, was really good. But over the years, it got increasingly sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. And what we found was that the older she got, her taste buds got a little, they changed a little bit. So she was adding more and more sweet tea to her, more and more sugar to her taste. So just be careful about those and our sodas and all of our kind of fruit juices and teas and lemonades. They do have a lot of sugar in them. And also limit physical activity. As we see here on our slide here, we even bring our chairs to events. And I have anything against camp chairs. I own one myself. I have a super duper heavy duty camp chair that has 2 cup holders. So I'm ready. But we have to think about the minimal amount of physical activity we're having during these, as I said, 8-hour, 6-hour gatherings. So some tips to kind of help you along. Invite fruits and veggies to the cookout. It's a good idea to have a fruit tray, a veggie tray. You can set up a smoothie station. All of those things are great for appetizers. And trust me, if they're like my family that love food, they might joke with you a little. Hey, what is this? We don't eat like this. But I guarantee you, if that is all that is there, they will eat it. It will leave. So think about inviting fruits and veggies to grilling veggies, for instance, to your holiday celebration. Go for the whole grains, the whole wheat buns, hot dog buns, hamburger buns. Make sure you go for the whole grains. If you're really adventurous, you may want to try a quinoa dish or something. Add that to the menu for your celebration. Choose your protein wisely. We want to make sure we still do lean proteins. The other week we barbecued at my home, and my husband barbecued turkey thighs. Now I know it sounds a little weird, but they were delicious. If you season those things up, the trick is to make sure that they don't dry out. And my youngest son thought it was chicken. This chicken is good, Mom. And I'm thinking, it sure is. But it was actually turkey thighs. So choose your proteins wisely. We can grill fish, shrimp, or seafood. All of those things can also be tossed on the grill. Avoid commercially made marinades. Those marinades that we buy in the store generally are high in sugar, sometimes even high in sugar and sodium. And it's so much better if you can make it on your own. So avoid those of commercially made marinades and make it on your own. Hydrate with water. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. It's hot out there, you all. So we need to replace, some of the water that we've lost through sweating. We need to replace it with water. And again, that also limits our calories and sugar if we kind of make sure that we increase our water intake. Make a balanced plate. Sometimes we may have to have the burger without the bun if there are no wheat options, but try to still make half of your plate fruits and vegetables. You want that lean protein. If you can incorporate the grains, but make a balanced plate. I know it's tempting to get the sausage, the chicken, the baked beans, the grilled corn, and something else. But try to make sure that you put those fruits and veggies on that plate. Also, mindful eating. Take time, chew slowly, savor the food. I know it's tough to savor the food when your uncle is cracking jokes and the kids are running around, but make sure that you savor the food. You'll have a much more pleasurable experience and it'll last longer, and you also will be mindful about what you ate. Also, move, move, move. A lot of times the focus outside of the fellowship at these type of celebrations or gatherings is food. So let's remove the focus from food after we've eaten. It's okay to go back, and we're going to talk about ways to keep the food safe while people go back. But let's play some games. There are tons of new board games out there for families, box games. Let's dance. Let's take a walk. Research shows us that once you consume food, it redistributes the sugar in your brain, or it redistributes the brain paths. So that is redistributed to your gastrointestinal tract. So you get a little sleepy after you eat. I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but I have experienced that. So you want to make sure that you move, because you get what you call prandial somnolence. Prandial somnolence. And that just means that you're getting sleepy after a meal. Some people call it a food coma, but that's a fancy word for it. But research shows that if you get up and you move around and you redistribute that activity, then your brain is like, oh, okay, I'm moving, and it'll kind of get rid of that food coma, if you will. So move. Get out there and run around with the kids. Throw some water balloons. Do an egg toss. Do something to get everyone moving. And you will create great memories as well. Also, we want to make sure that we keep our food safe while we are celebrating. This is all throughout the summer. But we want to make sure that we keep cold foods cold. And people are like, okay, Keisha, I know that's obvious. But there are some times when we are not so stringent about keeping cold foods cold. For instance, when we are coming from the store to home, we're moving that food that we've purchased from the store to home. It's tempting to stop by another store, pick up something to eat. How many of you go grocery shopping and then pick up something quick to eat because you just went grocery shopping and you're tired? But it is extremely hot out there, so we want to make sure that we are keeping those cold foods cold. Also, another danger time for not keeping the foods cold is when we try to thaw it out. Tossing it on the counter or throwing it in the sink, you guys, is not going to work. We want to make sure that we take it out early, leave it in the refrigerator. We can also microwave it. After you have thawed it out via microwave, you need to cook it immediately. And also, if you like to run it under warm water, changing out that water frequently, like every 15 minutes, so that the pathogens won't build up in the water. Those are the only 3 correct ways for us to thaw our food. So make sure that you think about transporting. Also transporting, say for instance, you're not cooking at home and you're going to a park or something, making sure you keep those cold foods cold while you are transporting. Particularly if you are on I-75 traffic and you never quite know just how long that trip may take you. So you also want to make sure that you do not leave foods unrefrigerated, cook foods unrefrigerated, and just kind of lingering about once you've done with the meal, particularly potato salad. And people always say, oh, it's the mayonnaise. It's not the mayonnaise. It's the cooked potatoes. Cooked potatoes will create pathogens really quickly, particularly if it is very hot outside. If it's above 90 degrees, then you want to make sure you get that cooked food refrigerated to reduce those pathogens. You want to keep food separate. You want to make sure you keep your proteins separate from your ready to eat or your vegetables. So even in the cooler, you want to make sure that you don't have the marinated meat on top of the salad bowl. So make sure that you keep those separate so that we won't cross contaminate. Also, take daddy a clean fork, you all. Take him a clean fork in the middle of that barbecuing. Here you go. I'm taking this fork. Here's another one. Make sure you also keep those food contact surfaces. So anytime, if you have a side arm on your grill, any kind of tray that you may use, or any kind of serving platter, you want to make sure that you keep those separate as well so that you don't cross contaminate. You want to cook the food to the appropriate temperature. So we know that it's 165 for our poultry products. We want to make sure that we cook vegetables to the appropriate temperature. Sometimes just letting the juice run clear is not the great way to make sure that it's all the way done. How many of us have gone somewhere, a friend's house, family, or even a restaurant, and we've cracked open that chicken and close to the bone, it's what? This is not done. It's pink. So a thermometer is the correct way to make sure you get that minimum internal cooking temperature. And you also want to keep everything clean. You want to wash your hands for 20 seconds, making sure you use warm water and soap. I know if you're at a park, it's a little different. So if you have sanitizer, just make sure you think about the cleanliness. Also your food contact surfaces and your equipment. That's about, daddy with the clean fork, daddy with the different serving platter, or run in there and the chicken is done. Give me some sort of platter to bring this out on. So you want to make sure you keep all of those things as clean as possible. Now, ice poses a special problem because ice is not considered, it's considered a ready-to-eat food, but we don't generally think about the ice. We want to make sure that we keep our ice clean as well. Generally, it's best practices to have a separate scoop and you put it in another container. So the cup that we kind of throw in the ice cooler, and the kids have been playing with the dogs and horses and scratching their hair, and then they come and grab the cup and they fill up their ice cup and beverage cup, and then they throw the cup back in there that they've touched. That's not the best thing. Let's try to keep it separate. You can also pre-make ice cups. The closer we are to eating time, let's go ahead and pre-make some ice cups. So we want to make sure that we keep everything safe. Also, we never want to use ice that we have cooled foods with, just in case some of the icky stuff got into the ice. Sometimes you can't always see it. It doesn't always have a color. So you never want to use ice that you've used to cool food as a beverage, to cool your beverage. So you want to keep those separate. We're coming up on the 4th of July, so we want to make sure that we are safe with our fireworks. I don't know about you all, but my family loves fireworks, and apparently so do all of my neighbors, because it sounds like a city fireworks show in my neighborhood. So we want to make sure that we never allow children to handle fireworks, young children to handle fireworks. If you do have older children, you want to make sure that they're supervised. Children are impulsive. They may decide, I'm going to throw this at my brother. And you're thinking, what are you thinking about? They do things like that. That is the nature of children. So you want to make sure that you always keep that kind of session supervised. You always want to protect your eyes and your face. Consider maybe wearing protective eye gear. And I know it sounds a little nerdy, but Keyshawn, I don't want to wear any protective eye gear, but we're not as quick as we used to be. I remember I used to light something, throw it, and run. I'm not that quick anymore. So I'm just saying. And that brings us to our next point, aim. You want to make sure that you aim it away from the house, the shrubs, and your adoring fans, your audience. There was an incident in my home one year with something that went straight up in the air. My husband and my son was not sure that it was going to come back down. But when I tell you the empty row of seats when it came back down near our seating area, so you just want to make sure that you aim it away from your audience, your house, shrubs, anything that could potentially catch on fire. You never want to put fireworks into another container like bottle rockets. That is very dangerous. You never know how that glass will react. It's not designed to hold something hot like that. So you never know if it will burst or there'll be shards. So you never want to put detonate in a container. You also want to make sure you discard properly. We make sure we throw a little water, soak it in water before we gather everything up and put it in a bag and put it into our outside trash can. And it's also a good idea to keep a bucket of water on hand just in case. I work closely here with the fire department educator here in Bibb County. And every year, inevitably, there's some sort of incident surrounding fireworks. And they say if they just had a water hose or a water bucket handy, then it would not have gotten out of control like that. So our takeaways, you want to build a balanced plate. Make sure that you continue with my plate, half of your plate, fruits and veggies. Mindful eating, savor the time, savor the food. Make sure that you control your portions and make sure that you are not going back too frequently for the things that we shouldn't eat an abundance of. Diversify your options. Incorporate those fruits and veggies. Invite those fruits and veggies. Have that smoothie station. They will eat it. Be food safe. Keep everything cooked, separate, chill, and make sure you keep everything clean. Hydrate. Water is essential. It is super hot, and water does not have to be boring. We can go ahead and infuse water, lemons and limes, oranges, basil, mint. We can do all of those things with water. There are wonderful things that we can do with water. And at the end, we also want to make sure that we move. This is a great time. Get up, do the wobble after everyone eats, do that egg toss, have that stack race, do something to get your body moving so that you won't get that food coma after you've consumed. Okay. So what's cooking, Chef Becca?
Glad you asked because we are ready to get started here. All right, so I'm hiding the chicken right now. So the chicken came off the grill. It looks amazing, but I want it to rest. That's the other point I wanted to tell you. You want to let your protein rest before you start slicing into it so that the juices can redistribute throughout the meat. So we're going to get started on this grilled potato salad. I know it sounds kind of out there, but it's delicious, I promise you.
And I see bacon. So I'm already super excited because I see bacon.
Yes, you do. You see turkey bacon, and that is going to go into our potato salad. I'm going to start by getting our potatoes and our scallions onto the grill because I want those to cook down while we make our dressing for this potato salad. So what I have here is about 5 scallions, I guess, green onions, and I'm just going to cut them in half. I'm not going to dice them at this time, and I'm going to put them in our bowl here. And to this bowl, I am going to add our potatoes. Now, what I've done with the potatoes is these are Yukon Gold little baby potatoes. I've cut them in half. For those that are a little bit larger, I cut them in thirds. I put them in this baking dish, added about a 1/4 cup of water, and put them in the microwave, and I let them cook for about 3 to 5 minutes, just so they can get a little tender before we pop them on the grill. We want to make sure they're perfectly tender when we're finished. So that's what I have in here. So I'm going to add these potatoes to our scallions.
So could I use just regular baked potatoes or little small red potatoes, just if that's what I have on hand?
Absolutely. You may have to cook them a little bit longer because they tend to be a little bit more firm. Yukon Golds are a little bit softer of a potato, but absolutely you can. So to this, I'm going to add just a little bit of our extra virgin olive oil. just enough to be able to coat the potatoes and the scallions, not too much. And then I'm gonna add a pinch of pepper, pinch of salt, not too much, and I'm gonna toss this. This is how you toss, by the way. You don't need anything fancy.
What?
Absolutely.
So I don't need a trampoline and all of those things?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Not at all. All right. So this is pretty much well coated. What I'm doing is my grill is still hot. I'm going to actually take my scallions. They're coated in oil, and I'm putting them right on the grill.
Oh, I bet the aroma is going to be amazing. I love green onions. And also as a word, green onions like Chef Becca had that are whole, they are a lot cheaper than if you buy them already pre-cut for whatever reason. Now, sometimes we do things to save time, but I just cannot fathom buying two for $1 and buying a half a pint for $2 just because they're already cut up. So
no way. All right, so what I'm doing is just putting these potatoes in. I'm putting them cut side down on the grill so we can get those beautiful grill marks. And I may not be able to fit all of this in here, but that's okay too, because I think you will get the gist of what we're trying to do here.
and you also said that we could put them in the cast iron, put it directly on the grill. Some of you at home probably have the larger cast iron griddle that you put directly on the stove. And then I know the Blackstones are popular as well. The Blackstone griddles are popular as well. So I think you can use any one of those things.
I would recommend, if you are going to do these right on the grill, to put your scallions on the cooler side of your grill, because you don't want them to go too fast, but you do want to get a nice little char on them. So we're going to let that go. And while that's doing that, we're going to make our dressing. Now, most people know potato salad as being a mayo-based salad. This one has no mayo. We are doing the potatoes, the scallions. I have turkey bacon here, which I'm going to cut up. This is about 8 slices or so of turkey bacon. Now, I know a lot of people are not keen on turkey bacon. I do say, give it a try. Don't knock it till you try it. Of course, you can use another kind of bacon for this, but I recommend you try the turkey bacon. It definitely gives it a nice flavor.
So no mayo? You almost got what you talking about, Willis?
No mayo. I know, it sounds strange, but I promise you, this is like one of the best salads you're gonna have, potato salads, this summer. All right.
But I love a nice cool salad in the summer anyway, a pasta salad, potato salad, and sometimes you do want to kind of shake it up a bit.
Absolutely. We're definitely shaking it up today. So I have my, it's about 8 slices, like half a pound of bacon. I'm gonna add to this some stone ground honey Dijon mustard. Now you can use any mustard you like. You can use Dijon, you can use plain old yellow mustard, but you want about 1 tablespoon. Then to this, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. It's not a lot. I'm gonna add just a tad of pepper. And I'm also gonna add one of the ingredients I use on my avocado toast all the time, which is this balsamic vinegar, but it's glazed. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of the glaze, not a lot. Okay. And to this, I'm going to put in the juice of half of a lemon.
And so by you rolling it, you made it a lot easier for the juice to come out by rolling it on the counter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm liking the balance here, the balsamic vinegar, lemon juice, and the brown sugar.
With the brown sugar, yes, absolutely. It definitely makes a difference. Let me turn this grill up a little bit.
And I did the same thing I always do. I did not eat a snack before we started this session. I am so hungry just watching you.
I thought we agreed we were going to start doing that, Keyshawn.
We did, but my brain did not remember that. And I'm so intrigued by these green onions, potatoes, turkey bacon. Oh my goodness, it looks so.
And I wish you could smell this because between the citrus of the lemon, I can smell a little bit of that mustard coming through, that stone ground mustard. It's absolutely delicious. All right, so I am gonna see what our scallions look like here, because if they are starting to look good, I can get them out. Ooh, wee. That's how my grandmother used to say, it looks good.
I was about to say, you know, that's good eating when you say woo wee.
So I don't know if you can see that, but I've got a little char on it there. That's what I'm looking for.
Would you put it right under the cap? There you go.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So just a little bit of a char. Just like that.
What you thinking, DeAndrea? You intrigued?
I am. I'm hungry. That's why I'm quiet.
Oh, you're quiet because you're hungry?
Yeah.
All right. So now what I'm going to do is just chop up these scallions. I'm just going to put a glove on to protect my hands because they're still kind of hot.
Now, I do have a question while you're chopping the lemon juice that you added. I know a lot of times with lemon juice, people are like, no, not too much lemon juice. But sometimes you don't even taste the lemon. It just gives a brighter flavor. So is that the case with this, or does it taste lemony?
So it does have a little bit of a lemon kick to it, but really it's going to bring out the flavor of the other components. So you could even cut back. You don't have to do a whole half a lemon juice. You can cut back if that's, if you don't want that full lemon flavor, and that's okay too. All right. So I have my scallions I'm going to add here to our bowl. Oh my goodness, it smells so good in here.
I bet. And I love green onions. Ooh, I love them.
I'm gonna mix this in. Move this out the way so you can see what I'm doing here. So it's not a lot of a dressing, which you really don't need, because I'm telling you, when the potatoes are cooking down, the flavor that's going to come out of them is amazing. So now I'm just feeling the potatoes to see if they are ready enough to be removed. And I have not had one yet. So we may need a little bit more time for the potatoes. It's the same idea as with the chicken. You do not want to move the potato until it's ready to move. You don't push it. So if it's still clinging to the grill or to the cast iron skillet, don't touch it. Just let it go for a little bit longer. So that's what we're gonna do.
And that's kind of releasing, and that's kind of signifying that, hey, I'm ready to be moved.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the last component that I'm gonna add is I have some fresh parsley here. Get another cutting board. I have some fresh parsley, and I'm just gonna take some off of here, and I'm gonna chop this up and add this to our dressing. And again, this is one of those things where you can adjust to whatever flavors you would like.
Now, Chef, does parsley have a taste? Or is
Say
it
that again?
purely, does parsley have a taste, or is it purely for aesthetics?
No, it does have a taste, especially this is Italian parsley. It has like a bitter kind of a taste to it,
Okay.
like a bitter sharpness.
So what about the regular parsley? Like, even if you get dried parsley, because I'm a parsley fan because it makes it pretty to me.
Right. So the regular like flat leaf parsley, or even the parsley, the ground or whatever, that will not give you as big of a bitter bite, but it'll still have a little, I call it like that little tangy that you get in the back of your throat when you're eating something, right? Yeah. So that's what you're gonna get.
Okay, love it. Not to be confused with cilantro when you're in the store, because they're all right there together.
And they look similar in a lot of cases. So yes, that's right. Make sure you're reading the label. All right, so got my dressing there. Got my potatoes are still not loosened. Oh, there's one. All right, so I got a little bit of a grill mark on this one. So this is sort of what we're looking for. Oh, I'm trying to get it centered on there. So we're looking for color, but we're also looking to make sure it's tender. So you don't want to put a potato in there that's not tender enough for someone to be able to chew. That wouldn't be good. So it looks like we're gonna have a few more minutes that we're gonna need here. So I don't know if we have questions or anything.
I would just like to say, in the chat box, if you are listening on Facebook, please let us know how you're feeling about this session. We're super excited to have you. There's an evaluation. Let us know what you're thinking, and so we can keep on doing what we do best. And that's coming to you guys and educating and providing some amazing recipes. So fill out the evaluation link as we wait for some of those potatoes to soften.
Absolutely. So what I think I'll do is get this chicken here so you all will be able to see just how juicy and tender the chicken is.
I'm loving the color and the grill marks.
Not bad, right? Not bad.
Right, it was a little distracting as I was teaching. I'm like, wow, that chicken looks good.
That's how we like it. All right, so I'm gonna slice into this just so you can see how juicy it is. Slipping and sliding here, y'all. Now, what the milk did was allow this chicken to start to break down even before we put it on the grill. So if you can see that, it's nice and juicy. I can squeeze it and it gets a little juicier. And also, it has a nice char on the outside, which is what you want when you are having your little barbecues. Now, you can add some seasoning to this, but I'm telling you, the seasoning that was in the milk has already infused itself into the chicken. So you're gonna get all of the flavors from the seasoning that you already put into the milk. And I think we're getting close with the potatoes. Yes, we are.
And the thing I think with the chicken also is the marinating, letting it kind of sit there and get those flavors good and infused. I'm excited. Now, could I also use this for, say, for instance, other proteins? Say, for instance, I wanted to do those turkey thighs again, because we will be doing those turkey thighs again.
Yeah, I would say it probably works best on chicken or turkey, any kind of poultry.
Mm-hmm.
So with meats like beef and things like that, it doesn't have the same effect. But it doesn't mean you can't do it to just infuse some flavor.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let me show you what we're looking at here. This is what we want.
Okay.
We're gonna get it together, y'all. Okay, there we go.
There you go. Perfect.
So
Freeze frame.
that's what we're looking for. All right, so I'm gonna add these two because they've all loosened up now. And that's what I was talking about. You don't move them until they say I'm ready.
Now that's amazing. I never knew about the releasing, so I've learned something myself because I love using my cast iron skillets and griddles.
Yes, a lot of people don't realize that, and they're so tough with it, and they're trying to get it to release on their own time. But the meat, the potatoes, whatever you're putting on there, it'll tell you when it's ready. You don't have to worry about it. All right, so I'm gonna actually put this on a plate so you all can see this all together. And I think that you would be happy to see this at a cookout.
Now, will it work with skin on chicken?
Absolutely. Oh, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. It used to be that, you could go and get a family pack of chicken wings pretty cost effectively. However, now I have switched to eating legs because I just cannot spend $20 for a pack of chicken I used to spend $13 for.
No, ma'am. No. Yeah, it's out of control. So yeah, but the skin on works the same way. So in fact, it's going to crisp up really nice. All right. So pull this out some so you all can see.
That looks amazing. Yum.
So I think that if you all try this, you will be pleasantly surprised. I think that you will be surprised about how juicy the chicken is because of that milk bath. And also trying a different type of potato salad is great. Now, this potato salad can be eaten warm like this, like it is now, or it can be chilled and ready to go cold. Totally up to your taste preference. I like it both ways. So I will probably devour this, but you can chill it for an hour or two in the refrigerator to get it to be cold.
Okay.
All right. That's it.
All
That's all I
right.
have for y'all this week.
Well, I am so excited. I know everyone is getting ready for these massive celebrations. As I said, we are out here now. We open, as they say, and we are going to get with our family and friends, and we're going to do eating, but we want to make sure that you keep your health goals in mind as you continue to go throughout these celebrations. And I even know I have a few friends that are like, oh, this is my third stop for the day. So keep your health goals in mind as you continue to celebrate and be out here, and also keep your food safe and your family safe with fireworks. As DeAndrea said, we do have a landing page. Please visit the landing page and complete the evaluation so we can gauge how we're doing. We're always looking to improve and bring you more exciting and interesting stuff. It's not fun and exciting if it's just something we think is fun and exciting. So continue to subscribe, visit the landing page. You can also get the recipes if you subscribe to the landing page. So subscribe to the landing page. I promise you, we will not try to sell you a bogus vacation or something you don't need. We are just wanting to share information with you, timely tips, as well as recipes. Is there anything else we have for today?
Nope, I just added the link to the landing page so you could sign up for our email list so you can stay up to date. Chef Becca's rub is amazing, so I want you guys to be the talk of the cookout. So be sure you subscribe today so you can get those recipes. Also, as Keyshawn mentioned, go ahead and complete the evaluation. We would love to hear your feedback and see what you are looking for when it comes to Just for the Health of It Home Edition. Also, if you decide to make these recipes, send us some pictures of the recipes. We would love to see them. Or even if you make changes to the recipes, we would love to hear about those changes and how you cooked the recipe and made it specific for your family. So just let us know. We are here. We are your Just for the Health of It team. Thank you guys for joining us today. And that is all I have. So Chef Becca, anything else you want to add?
I would just say, have fun with your grill this summer. You can actually grill not just meats, vegetables, but you can grill fruit. I do fruit kebabs with a little pound cake on the sticks, and it's really good. So explore.
Yes, explore, have fun, but be safe. Keep it safe. All right, we will see you next time for our July session. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and be safe, have fun out there in this hot
Happy hump day.